All right. Well, I'm Melissa Petersen, and I am the creator of the Becoming Method. I'm a mom of 10. I'm an attorney, and I'm a health coach and a fitness instructor. And I'm going to share my screen so that we can go through these slides that I've created for tonight's masterclass. So this masterclass is titled Why You Struggle with Your Weight. Understanding the real reasons that you keep getting stuck. I don't know if anybody wants to do a poll, but just to yourself, does any of this sound familiar? I know what to do, but I struggle to stay consistent. I do well for a while and then I fall off track. Stress causes me to make changes and choices that I later regret. I've lost weight before, but I've gained it back. I'm tired of constantly thinking about food. Look around because you are not alone. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we're the only person struggling. And the reality is that millions of people are fighting the same battle. What we've been taught. Most of us have been taught that if we're overweight, the solution is simple. We eat less, we move more, and we just try harder. If you struggle, you must lack discipline. People tell us if we gain weight, we must be lazy. Or if we're stuck, we're not wanting it badly enough. But let me ask you something. If knowledge solved weight problems, wouldn't most people already be successful? Because people know vegetables are healthier than donuts. And most people know movement is beneficial. Most people know that their sleep actually matters. And so, therefore, knowledge is not the problem, that something else is going on. The real question, so this is the question that changed my life. If you know what to do, why don't you do it? Why do we repeatedly make choices that move us away from the life that we actually want? Why do we sabotage ourselves? And why do we abandon goals that genuinely matter to us? Most people spend years trying to fix food. Few people spend time trying to understand their behavior. And so tonight we're going to go underneath what the behavior is. Weight is often a symptom. Weight is often not the root problem. It's often the symptom and the visible result of invisible struggles. It's the result of stress, burnout, trauma, poor sleep, overwhelm, emotional pain, people pleasing, lack of boundaries. Many people spend years trying to treat the symptoms while never addressing the cause. Imagine taking Tylenol every day for a headache caused by a brain tumor. You're treating the symptom and not the source. Weight often works the same way. Your brain's first job, the main job of your brain is keeping you alive. It's not to make you skinny. It's not to help you fit into smaller jeans. It's not to help you look great in your vacation photos. It's purely for survival. When your brain senses stress, danger, uncertainty, emotional pain, or overwhelm, survival becomes the first priority. And when survival becomes a priority, long-term goals often get pushed aside. Therefore, weight loss becomes a second. What does stress do? Stress actually changes everything. It changes your hormones, it changes your energy, it changes your cravings, it changes your decision making, it increases cravings, impulsivity, emotional eating, poor sleep, fatigue, overwhelm. And many people, they believe they have actually a food problem, but what they actually have is a stress problem. Emotional eating. So food's not the problem. The food is often the solution. Food provides comfort for our brains and our bodies. It provides relief and distraction. It provides rewards, provides pleasure. Food helps us avoid uncomfortable feelings. The question is not, why am I eating? The question is, what is the food doing for me? Common triggers of why we eat. So the biggest eating triggers are not hunger. They're usually emotions like loneliness, boredom, anxiety, overwhelm, sadness, frustration, exhaustion. And many people aren't actually feeding their bodies. They're solving and soothing their problem with their nervous system. So why does willpower fail? Willpower is temporary. Patterns are automatic. So willpower works on good days when we're feeling good, we don't have stress. Patterns show up on hard days, and eventually stress wins, fatigue wins, emotions win. And this is why motivation is never enough. The all or nothing trap. One cookie becomes, I ruined the day. One missed workout becomes, I'll start again Monday. One bad weekend becomes, I've fallen completely off track. I may as well eat something else that I wouldn't normally eat. The mistake isn't the problem. The quitting is the problem. The shame cycle. Mistake, shame, comfort seeking, more mistakes. It's just a cycle and it repeats. More shame. Most people are not trapped by food. They're trapped by shame. And then shame keeps this cycle alive. So why do smart people struggle? Success does not protect you from stress. Success does not protect you from trauma. Success does not protect you from unhealthy coping mechanisms. Many of my clients are high achievers. They're business owners, professionals, parents, leaders, yet they struggle because behavior is emotional, not intellectual. What about child programming? Many of our patterns started decades ago while we were children. Your parents would tell you to clean your plate. They would give you a treat if you did something good, so food would equal a reward. They would give you some food to get you to stop crying because food equals comfort. They would buy you some food to show you love, so then food equals love. Or they would tell you, you better eat everything because the rest of the world doesn't have food, giving us a scarcity mindset. Most of these patterns just operate with us just subconsciously. We're not even thinking about it. Trauma will change behavior. Trauma isn't always abuse. Trauma can be criticism, neglect, rejection, instability, feeling unsafe. Trauma changes your nervous system, and your nervous system will influence behavior. Sometimes it will make you eat, so then your behavior will influence your weight. Fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. So fight is control, anger, or frustration. Flight is being busy, perfectionistic, always doing something to avoid something. Freeze, avoiding, procrastination, being stuck. Fawning is pleasing people, putting everyone else first. Many weight struggles are connected to one of these patterns. So motivation is not enough. Motivation will come and go. In fact, I think that people only have about 3 minutes of motivation per day. Systems will stay. The people who succeed long term put habits that lead to building systems into place. So motivation is not what keeps them going. It's the systems. What about identity shift? Most people are focused on losing weight, but successful people focus on becoming somebody different. The question is not, what do I need to do? The question is, who do I want to become? And today I actually had a client that I talked to who told me about that she could feel her identity shift. She had a bunch of friends that she saw over the weekend, and those friends were alcohol, using drugs, using processed food and sugar. They were staying up, and she was, not doing any of those things. She brought her own food. She was not partaking in any drugs or alcohol, and she was going to bed on time, and she was the first one up in the morning, and she was taking naps when everyone else was getting up. And she realized that she couldn't stay in that friend group anymore. She still loved those people, but she now identifies with a different group of people that are focused on health and eating clean and staying free from substances. And so now she realizes that she's become someone else. And that was an identity shift for her. So I've created the becoming method. The becoming method is having awareness. Like, what am I feeling? What triggered this? What do I need? Which leads to regulation. Okay, so once I've identified what am I feeling and what's going on, the question is, how do I calm my nervous system? I can use prayer, breath, walking, journaling, connecting with people. Those are ways that we can regulate ourselves. And then we go to alignment. Does the choice that I'm making right now align who I want to become? So going back to my example of the client who was with her friend group and discovering that she does not align anymore with those people because they're not who she wants to become. And then action. Just establishing small, consistent actions repeated over time really make a difference.
Okay, I can call you back.
Small, consistent actions repeated over time make a difference. Not perfection, not consistency, just doing things over and over and making small changes over time. Awareness. We go to awareness. You ask yourself questions. What am I really hungry for? What am I avoiding? What patterns keep repeating? And what's the behavior doing for me? Oh, we'll just go back. So as I talked about regulation, prayer, breathing, walking, connection, making choices that match your future self, and then those small, consistent actions that create change. So what creates change? Awareness, regulation, alignment, and consistency. Getting to, like I said, actions to ask yourself for, what am I really hungry for? What patterns keep repeating? And what is the behavior that I'm doing for me? Is it good or is it bad? So just asking yourself things. So my story, the problem was never just food. I don't think it is for most people. For most of my life, I believe my problem was discipline. I became an attorney. I built a law practice. I'm raising 10 kids and I teach fitness classes. And from the outside, I looked very successful, but from underneath, there was tremendous stress and pressure. My marriage ended. I found myself navigating divorce, parenting challenges, financial stresses, legal battles, and trying to hold everything together. And like many people, I focused on food. I focused on exercise, and I focused on the scale. But eventually I realized that my weight wasn't the problem. The weight was the symptom. The real issues were stress, trauma, people pleasing, fear, and overwhelm. And just patterns that I'd carried for years. Everything changed when I stopped asking, what's wrong with me? And I started saying, what happened to me? What am I feeling now? And what do I need? And just becoming aware of what was going on and the stresses that arose each day. And as I worked on healing, my health improved, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. At age 50, I completed the High Rocks competition, and you can look that up, but it's pretty intense. I have more energy than many people half of my age, and not because I follow the perfect diet, because I finally addressed what was underneath my eating problem and my relationship with food, which is why I created the Becoming Method. Your next step, awareness before action. So basically becoming aware of what's going on and placing progress before perfection. I've worked with a lot of people who, when I've told them that, that's really helped them because they had a perfectionistic attitude that, well, I didn't go to the gym, so I may as well, eat a piece of candy. And so those are the kinds of things where perfection can sabotage you. And then just reflecting, what patterns do I see differently now? Um, you know, I can see what caused me to want to go to food and that I was using food to provide myself comfort. And now I see, food as something to nourish myself, and I find other ways to comfort myself. But that took time, and it took a lot of mental change. And so that's why we have the Becoming Method, because you don't need to fight your food anymore. You just need to start understanding yourself. And if you can work on those things, the food will just fall into place. The scale will just start going down. Because when you work on the mental and emotional and behavioral piece, the physical piece just goes right into place. So basically, if you want to stop with the patterns that you have and you want to know what to do and you want lasting change and you don't want another fix because you've done all of it, you are welcome to set up a free coaching plan meeting with me. And there's no obligation, but I can help you map what your goals are, and I can help you set the next steps for you to achieve permanent and lasting change in your health. So I thank everybody for attending. And if anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer them. I will email this recording to everybody, and I will send you an email. And if you would like a complimentary coaching consultation, I will certainly set that up at a time that works for you. So just a reminder, we are not broken, but we are becoming. So I thank you for attending. I'm going to stop my share. And are there any questions? All right, hearing none, I'm going to stop the recording.